Well, hello and welcome to Reimagining Education, a podcast from Michigan International Prep School. I am your host, Eric Van Houten, and I've said this previously, but I am a mentor here at Michigan International Prep School. And joining me today is Mr. Clayton McDowell, who is also a mentor, and he has started a lot of very cool programs, which is what we are talking about today. So Clayton, how are we doing?
Hey, doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
Good. So for those of you listening and watching, today we're going to talk quite a bit about gaming and eSports, which isn't the first thing that comes to mind when you think of school.
Right.
Even when you
Definitely.
think of clubs or things like that. And sometimes we always say, maybe we should be playing less video games and playing and studying more, right? I think if there's one distraction for virtual students, it's video games or computer games or something like that. But we're going to talk about that, some of the good things that are happening this way. So that's a long preface for you.
Yeah.
We work together a lot, so I'm really excited about this day.
Yeah, same.
But I wanted to start this way, right? Gaming and esports. Not every school has this, like we said.
Right.
But how did we come to where we are now to talk about this and to see this as possibilities for students?
Yeah. So in a virtual world, which a lot of stuff is moving into, especially our school. I mean, we're a very virtual school. And one of the aspects of a virtual school is you don't have a lot of face-to-face interaction with other students and teachers. This is bridging that gap for, most digital schools don't have, like you said. Yeah. And it's really opening up a door to where students are able to interact with each other and with their mentors and teachers in more of a casual way. But not only that, but these students are going to play video games. It's just the way it is. They're going to do it.
Yeah.
So why not play on our playground, right? Why not have the playground in-house to where they're able to interact with us and with each other in a very real way, and that's what's exciting about it, and that's where I seen the need at, and opening this up is already shown some really promising effects with the students.
Yeah, I love that, and we've had some episodes with curriculum innovation, different pathways, different roles here at MIPS. But you really were a mentor and saw a need, a great big need. Like I think the majority of my students play video games every day, right? And that's the majority of students everywhere, especially I think male students more than female students, but female students, a lot of them too, more than we realize.
Well, in the industry, actually with the gaming industry right now, as the surveys of last year, we were at a 55% male, 45% female interaction with gaming in general.
Wow.
And so we're looking at a huge jump from the, 2015 when we're looking at a 20% female ratio to a 80% male ratio.
Wow.
So a huge flip, and it's still climbing. You're actually in social media. You're seeing it on TikTok, YouTube, Discord itself. Streamers are becoming much more of the female community and female streamers and all of that. And so bringing that aspect to the table of what we have in this school, it's not inclusive to a male population. The female population is also finding this to be a very valuable avenue for interaction.
Yeah, this is kind of a rabbit trail, and I don't think we've ever talked about this, but why do you think it was male dominant, and then why do you think it's kind of evening out?
So I have a few opinions about that, in the sense that I think that it was more marketed towards males. You look at back in the 90s, in that era, a lot of times the game design was, you were dealing with more what seemed to be a violent nature, or you had a lot of combat games and stuff like that. Nowadays, you move into the 2000s, we started changing the area of the games that we were building. Yeah. So it was much more into like interest games, puzzle games, interactive games, and it's just the industry as far as what they were selling really started to change, and it started to flow into different forms of interest. And that was one, I think, where women tend to like more of the intellectual type of the game style, and that's what really brought the interest in the female community, in my opinion.
That's very cool. So why I asked that, what we've learned from that is your student plays video games.
Yeah. Right.
It's going to happen,
much.
and then maybe they lose interest as they get older, but a lot of them don't. But anyways, our students are playing video games outside of the school, and today we're talking about games and eSports, which are online games as teams in sports, sure. Right? But we're talking about doing that as classmates, as a school. So, you saw this need, and you decided to start, should we call it like a gaming club? Just to encompass all of it, a gaming club.
Sure, yep.
So what kind of stuff are you doing for these students?
Yeah. So one of the first things we have in the gaming club is we have a classroom where they can come and get kind of like downloads of new kind of games that are coming out, new industry tech, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of your news page, right? So they're able to see the new innovative stuff that is being brought to the market that they could easily be interested in, such as Steam is coming out with their brand new device, which is essentially a handheld PC gaming computer, but it's about the size of a Nintendo Switch. So where a lot of students or a lot of people were locked off, the kids are now saying, "Oh, look at the availability. Look what's available for me." So those news feeds are kind of in the classroom. And then the biggest thing right now with the club is the Discord. We use a Discord server. And because of that, it's allowed these students to interact in a way that wasn't previously possible. They have chat tables. They're streaming their games live for each other to watch. Which is really cool. We're having interactions to where somebody's playing a game and the other ones are watching them. But here's the cool thing about even that is we're involved as far as the school in this operation, right? Again, it's our playground. So what does that mean? Well, that means these students are no longer out by themselves, but they're in a monitored environment to where it's safe, it's maintained for them. It's not just out there in the ether, it's now in-house. Right. Yeah. So they're playing. And again, the only way you can be part of the Discord or the club is if you go to MIPS. So that way it's within our school. So they're interacting in that way.
And you go through your mentor, correct? I know I've had a couple students that have done that. So it's basically like a video game club that you would do at a local school. You just do it online, right? Absolutely. Your teachers are there and you're there with other classmates. Yep. I think it might be worth noting, because I don't know if I know, but how would you describe Discord? I know you said that students stream there and that they can talk there, but what is Discord?
Discord is a platform, a social media platform that has its own server. Right? And it's an area where they can log in, and then there are chat rooms, there are video rooms, and streaming rooms. So what they can do is they're constantly being able to feed into the situation. And they can, within the channel, it stays live, whatever device you're using, a tablet or cell phone, PC, multiple devices. Mine is on every device I own. Yeah. So that way the communication is constant. So you're getting texts from friends, you're seeing what's live, what's happening, and you can do it on the go. So they can they don't have to be in front of their home working computer. They can literally be out on vacation. And I have that too. Students are on vacation still interacting with the school. Yeah. So it's a social communication platform, and it goes much deeper than just games. I mean, we have students that are sharing artwork, right? Students that are talking about, what the cool thing they did in school today. When we first opened it up, I mean, the conversation exploded. It was funny. It was one of the biggest conversations was not about games. It was about what the students wanted to be when they graduate high school. Very cool. So it was very cool in that format to see that these students are using this platform not just for gaming, but for interaction.
I love that. Yeah. So I'm not a gamer, but I do know from friends and now this and things that if you are into video games or anything like that, Discord is huge.
It is. It is one of the biggest platforms.
Yeah. So if you're a student listening or someone who does play a lot of video games, you already knew that. But for everyone else, Discord is huge and an important part of this club.
For sure.
So we went through the Discord club. What else do we do, or are you setting up for us?
So we're also moving towards eSports camps, which is going to be pretty cool. we're looking to have at least 2 labs have set up with some really nice gaming computers. And with that, we're going to start offering different types of games, such as League of Legends and Fortnite, some of your favorite competitive games. We're going to start assembling teams of students that are going to start competing against each other. And they're going to come to practices, and it's going to be a wild time. And at these locations, in conjunction, the gaming club will have different events like pizza parties and gaming parties where the students will come a few times a year.
School pizza parties, I missed that, right?
So, yeah. So not only are they able to, and the cool thing is it's also with the Discord. Even if a student can't attend physically, they can attend in a way digitally with even the students that can be there physically. So it'll be neat with that. But back to the eSports topic, we're going to assemble these teams, and we're looking forward to about 2022 actually moving more professionally. So after we get this rolling, see the interest, get these students practicing, we're looking to move into a much bigger world, and looking probably some of those, state and national events for these games, because that industry went from around 450 million average views back in 2018, and we're looking around 850 to 890 million average views for esports. So
just for esports
alone. And so that having that availability for our students to start getting involved with is, like I said, huge.
I love that. And I know a lot of families and students are looking for that extracurricular component.
Right.
I know that we're getting a basketball team and all those things, but just so I'm distilling this properly, we have a club, right, where students can play video games together, can talk and meet and share together.
Sure.
But these esports, we're going to be having teams that actually compete, just like a football or a basketball team would against other teams, other schools throughout the state, or more than the state?
We would, as far as we can reach. Right now, it'll probably start off in state, and then I'm looking for nationals, man. I want to take these students all the way. And, just because it's video games, a lot of people have a presupposition that, it's all about sitting behind the chair and all of that. Actually, no. Just like any other sport, just like football, baseball, basketball, there is a regiment of what's expected of the student during practice to keep up certain things. Diet is a huge thing. Before each practice, we're going to be doing some exercises. Why? Because you get the blood flowing. If you're healthier, your brain's working quicker. And even more so, they have to have the ability to think on the fly, think in a quick moment, and make an adjustment in such minute details with some of these games. Like League of Legends, it's all about teamwork, right?
Yeah.
So this interaction, it's not something that's solo. It's a partnership, just like what you're going to get out of what you would baseball or soccer or anything like that, you're going to get out of these esports teams.
Yeah.
So the discipline of it, all of that, the social aspect of learning how to have a team, how to lead, and it's going to be huge for these students. And I'm excited to see what even comes out of this, because it's growing fast, and I want to stay on the ball with it.
That is very cool. So what teams then are we going to have for this coming 2021-22 school year?
Yeah,
for sure. What
for sure, we're going to do a League of Legends, and for sure we're going to do a Fortnite. The third game, we're possibly looking at like a Valorant and or a Rocket League. I kind of like the Rocket League just because it kind of mixes up the three, where you have a Dota with with League of Legends.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, a Dota would be a game to where it's strategy, right? It's two teams of five players, and it's a strategy to essentially kind of capture the flag in a way. You have to take out the enemy's base. So there's a lot of strategy and characters and teamwork that goes into that. And then Fortnite, you have teams. It's an FPS, first-person shooter game, to where, who doesn't know what Fortnite is right now?
Yeah, Battle Royale, right? Where you go from lots down to one, and you got a winner.
Yep, exactly. So that's going to be a big part of it. And then the third one would be if we did do something like Rocket League, which is, again, much more of a team game. It's like Rocket League is like playing soccer with race cars.
Yep. So. That's the one that I have played. I used to love, or do love, but I don't play much often, Rocket League.
Yeah.
Love Rocket League.
It's a good game.
It's a fun game, and it is like playing sports.
Yeah.
on a screen, right?
Absolutely.
So I love that. And how big do you think that these teams can get? Like, is there a limit to how many students we can have in this gaming club?
As of right now, that's why we're doing camps for the start of the year.
Okay.
Because we're seeing what we can handle, right? Or what we can do. So if we get a huge turnout, a huge interest, well, all that means is we're going to put more focus on it and expanding what we have available. So right now we're looking at possibly probably 4 teams, 2 Rocket League, two League of Legends teams, and 2 Fortnite teams. And if we get a good enough turnout, we'll probably add that 3rd game and have about 6 teams. So that's the idea.
And there's, just for the more leisure, not sports aspect of it, how many people can we have or do we have in that Discord and just general gaming club?
The club, we're looking at about 108 students have been in the club so far, and it's just starting out. So this next year,
it's been just a few months, right? And we have over 100 students in this club.
For sure. And we just did a bunch of surveys and a bunch of outreaches to the new population coming in, to the existing population. So we could definitely see a very quick influx of this really exploding quickly. So yeah.
That's very cool. And I mean, we had this message go out, right, of this is available to our current students, and it's growing and it's larger, and we're putting more materials or more effort, more time into this club. And when I tell my students about this, right, they're usually, or I ask them what their favorite game is or what they want to play, they usually answer either Fortnite or Minecraft. Yep. Now, you've mentioned Fortnite. I don't know if you've mentioned Minecraft yet.
I haven't. So the game club, actually, we have, MIPS has its own Minecraft server. So we have students in there that are in there every single day. They're sharing their builds on the Discord server. They're sharing, pictures of what they're doing. They're streaming it. And so it's completely available to them. We have the most updated version going right now with Minecraft. So that's something that our school already provides, is a game with the environment that we're controlling, that they can come in, and I'm in there all the time, just seeing what they're building, hanging out with them. And it's a lot of fun. It's a good time.
I love that. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind then is for parents thinking about this. Yeah. Right. I know I got a lot of parents that we talk to that say, my kid plays way too many video games, and it's hard to get them off the video game to do schoolwork. Is that something that you foresee as a problem, or is there anything, should playing too many video games be a concern for our students? Absolutely.
And that's why playing in our playground is of value as far as a tool for the teachers and for the mentors and for the parents, so that the students can continue to do school. Why? Well, when you're in the Discord, it's tracking what they're doing, right? So you have a mentor who's in there, and they can look and go like, "Oh, hey, Johnny, did you do your science, those science assignments?" And, "Oh yeah, I'm getting on it." "Well, it looks like you've been playing Fortnite for 4 hours. So are you gonna jump on there?" So what it does is these students are going to be playing video games, right? And instead of it just being and we're not in their house, right? So what this does is, in a way, it does kind of bring us into their environment. It does allow that the parents aren't standing by themselves trying to monitor their students' gameplay, right, versus school. This now opens up a door to where they have more eyes on the ground, right? But not only that, but we're encouraging it in a positive way, right? So where they're getting privileges within the club, but they need to also keep up an academic standard. And the mentors are much easier able to see that.
Just now, like you would in a sports team.
Absolutely. You got to hit those marks if you want to stay hitting the ball.
I love that. So you mentioned a lot of this when you were talking about the reasons or why you saw this need and why you were excited to start it. But have you seen benefits or success stories or things that you've liked coming out of this already?
Oh yeah, we've already had a few students that have come into it and come in with the agreement that they would get school done if they're allowed to be in the club. And it has, right? They've already seen benefits to where the student is now being engaged. Here they are in a game club, but they're now being engaged with school because they see it as a privilege.
Yeah.
They see it as a reward system for staying up on their academics. And then a big aspect of it too was students that have, just because of what's been going on with, the COVID and different things like that, a lot of students felt very isolated.
Yeah.
And we have some students that are extremely thankful, and we're so excited to be part of the club that they can communicate, and they're loving that aspect. And what it's done is it's caused them to be much more engaged even in school, because they don't feel like they're just so locked away. They're now able to communicate. They're now able to have friends. And between classes, they're jumping on, talking to each other. And it really, when you bring up that emotional spirit too, it helps with motivation. It really does. And you can start to see growth in that. And we already have. Like I said, one of our biggest topics was students talking about what they want to be in the future, communicating that with each other. And then teachers were able to jump in and, give some ideas and talk about it too. So
I love that. So this is what I'm hearing as a whole, right? Students are doing not just what they are already doing, but pretty much what they want to do most, right? They always want to play more video games. Not only that, but they're making friends doing that.
Absolutely. In
a monitored environment, or a safe environment is a good way to say that. And all of this is improving their school success.
Right, a trifecta of growth.
Through video game and online sports. I love that. Well, we end every episode of this podcast with what we call a win.
Yeah.
Right? It's something that our school does as a whole when we meet as well, of just stories about either success or something that we're really excited about, or someone that, like another teacher we had a good conversation with, something that we love seeing that makes us enjoy what we do. We see why we do what we do. So do you have a win that you can think of or that you'd be willing to share?
Yeah. So I'll keep it a little anonymous, but we do have a student that would just recently happen to where he was very antisocial, was really struggled to make friends even when he was in school, and it was very difficult for him. And he was struggling with his academics just because of he felt very isolated. Yeah. And what ended up happening is we're going to start here up in September again, is we have a Wednesday Among Us game that we play.
Which is a very popular game. I've even played that one.
And his mentor invited him along. And we ended up with 10 kids in there. And they were communicating, they were playing together, and he really started opening up. And now he's very active in the club. He's talking to other students. He's making friends, to where they're knowing him by name. And his mother had come and talked to me and the mentor, saying how this is totally a change in him in a social way that she is so excited to see. Yeah. And it really opened the door for him to be able to, awaken to where he's able to interact in much more of an impactful way with other students and teachers. And not only that, but he was afraid to show the camera all the time when he would go into his meetings. Well, now the camera's on every time. He's got the camera on, he's talking, and so it's not just isolated anymore when he's even talking with his teachers and mentor. He's got the camera on, we're having good communication. And so you've seen in a very personal way, it did impact him and very positively.
I love that. So it's not always just about academics, even though they're improved, but
Absolutely.
About the social and the emotional well-being of that student was improved.
Absolutely. Well, that's the whole idea, isn't it? We want these students to grow and be healthy 360 degrees, right? We want to be able to improve their living situation for their life and everything in every way possible. And if having a gaming club, having eSports is a way we can do that, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it.
Look at that. I love that, Clay. And I've learned a lot. And I'm excited for all the students. We've said this over and over, but I know all my students play video games.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is going to improve them all around 360, you said.
Right.
Well, Clayton, thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time to be here, and we'll have to have you on again sometime.
100%.
Awesome. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
If you're interested in enrollment
or you just want to get to know us and what we do a little bit better, head over to our website at miprepschool.org. That's miprepschool.org. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. We will talk to you soon.